All right, starting the YouTube first. What up, YouTube?
You what up?
And here we go. We are going to go live for the podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros!
What up, ladies and gentlemen? Hernan CS here, host of the Business Bros podcast. We got another great show for you tonight to end the week. Unless you're listening to this on replay, it might be during the middle of the week for you. But if you're on the live feed, happy Friday to y'all.
And thanks for the introduction. Joined by the Insurance Broham. At Insurance Broham.
That's right.
James CS with Pipeline Insurance. So, we do have a great show ready to go for you. We have Mr. Ryan... Damn it, I was going to get it right. Petaishiski.
That was good.
Petaishiski.
Petaishiski. Perfect.
All right, Ryan Petaishiski from Fidelity National Title. We are excited to have him here. And, man, it is just going to be a welcome day, an awesome day, awesome interview. We're ready to go. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, but before we get started, I got to do our promo. Remember, ladies and gents, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. So if you have a gently used pair of shoes, or you have new shoes, or you want to donate cash, hit James up 619-884-0045 or James at csfirst.com. He'll hop on his Harley, and today we got 2 Harleys in the driveway. But James will hop on his Harley. He'll roll out there, pick them up from you. And we appreciate all the donations we've had so far. Our guest yesterday, Randy, brought a bunch of shoes too. So that pile just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's going to be a great Christmas for some people out there who desperately need your help. So if you have shoes, we'd appreciate it. All right, let's get into this. Ready?
Oh, really quickly. Public apology to Randy because I definitely... was doing my Instagram story and I called him Ryan. Oops. And really, one last thing, really quickly. Anthony Ramirez says, "Hey, what's up?"
Oh, Anthony's a legend.
Says, "Haha, my boy."
I was actually going to think about him to be on too.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's good.
Anthony's been on the show.
He has.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got a crazy story.
Oh, man. He's got crazy stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Did you do the intro already?
I did, but
it's all out of whack now.
I know. We totally messed it up. It's
It's Friday.
It's Friday.
It's cool.
Friday.
It's Friday.
You know, it is what it is.
All right, Ryan.
It's been a hell of a week for what it's worth. I mean, we've had plenty of interviews this week. We had a couple of 2-a-days, and next week, man, it's gonna be the
Off
show,
the
man.
chain.
It's gonna be crazy. We have like 3 days of 2-a-days.
Oh, damn.
So
Nuts.
woo.
All right, well, let me hear about you. So, we met at the expo.
Yep.
Right? And just kind of, shooting the shit a little bit. And I found out some crazy stuff about you. Like, you used to skateboard a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I was trying to pursue that as a career for 10 years, probably.
Tell me about that life, dude, because, I mean, we're going to transition to something not as interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Right, but tell me a little bit about that life.
I was just got into skating when I was probably in like 5th or 6th grade. All the kids at my school were into it and just kind of picked it up, and literally it took over my life. I basically became a one-track minded. All I wanted to do was skate. That's it. So did it for 5 or 6 years. Moved up to San Francisco. Met a bunch of people up there, got sponsored, did the whole thing, traveling,
Dude, San Francisco has some mean hills, dude.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah?
I love bombing hills.
Oh, dude, that would terrify me, dude. Like, I'm always looking at, like, traffic and, like, I don't know, man. I have a lot of fear of, uncontrolled speed.
Yeah, there wasn't, like, a whole bunch of people that were into bombing hills, but now there's a group of kids out there. It's like they call themselves GX 1000, and they're just a bunch of kids that just all they do is bomb hills. I would definitely suggest looking that up on YouTube or whatever. The videos are insane. Sometimes you're like, how did that guy not die?
Dude, I mean, do you have any like mean like spills?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I remember actually the worst one that I ever had was here, and it was right before I was moving to San Francisco, and there was like a hill. I was living in Solana Beach. It's like a block away from my house, and we'd just come back from LA from a skate premiere, and I was like, hey, like, take me to this hill. I want to bomb it before I get back, before I leave. And I remember I bombed it and probably got like 3/4 of the way down and just smashed. And it was at night, so my friend was like following me in the car with the lights on, and I just remember like falling and sliding and like looking back and seeing the car like driving, and we're both like moving at the same time, and I just like, out of just adrenaline, I popped up and just got back on my board and ran away and like skated back to my house. They had left, and I got home and just the whole side was just road rash. Couldn't put pants on for like 2 weeks probably.
Oh.
Yeah. It was a good one.
When did you finally feel the pain on that? Like, I mean, you ate it, you hopped on the board, you skated home. When did it settle in?
Like 5 minutes later, when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, that is not good." Yeah.
Dude, when you get road rash like that, is it like a burn? Like you have to treat it a certain way?
Yeah. Exactly like if you got like burned in a fire. It's literally the whole epidermis is gone.
Oh, dude.
It's not fun. And like I said, I couldn't wear pants for like 3 weeks, so that wasn't fun either. Like going like places and pants are getting stuck to you and stuff. So no fun.
Just shorts, loose shorts.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. All right, so you were telling me you got sponsored and everything?
Yeah, so I was riding for a couple companies out of San Francisco. They had a distribution which was called Deluxe, and so they had like a couple different board brands. They had trucks, wheels. They had pretty much the whole 9 yards that they were doing. So I got hooked up with a few of their companies, and through that went on a bunch of trips. And actually, it was really awesome. I got to go on this trip called Beauty and the Beast, which was I rode for a company called Anti-Hero Skateboards, and we went on a trip with another company called Girl. And those were like all my favorite skaters growing up, both teams. So it was like a really good experience for me to like go on a trip for 2 weeks with everybody I idolized. Like every person I ever wanted to like meet, they were there, and we were just kicking it, skating together.
That's trip, dude. Yeah. I mean, that's I would call that successful.
Oh, dude, you know what I mean? And I can't take that back.
No, like those memories are there forever. Like you did it.
Yeah. No, it was a great time, and specifically this guy right here, shout out John Cardiel. He was like my favorite skater ever growing up, like super rad dude, and he was on Anti-Hero. He actually got injured in Australia like a few years before that and wasn't really skating, but he can, kind of roll around, but it was sick to like kick it with him and watch him cruise and do that whole thing. So
what stopped you? Like what ended up, why'd you leave?
It's really, really hard to like actually make a good living in skateboarding. You know what I mean? I have a ton of friends that are still doing it, and some of them make more money than others. But the people that actually make a career, be able to take care of a family and buy a house and stuff like that, it's such a small group.
Were you doing it like before like social media times or?
Yeah, for sure.
This is all back in the day.
Yeah, but my like most successful skateboard friend, he doesn't have Instagram, he doesn't have Facebook, he doesn't have any of that.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. He's like, him and one other dude are like the anomalies where like nowadays, if back in the day, it'd be like, oh, like let's film these tricks, let's send the video to the sponsor. And now they're like, how many followers you got?
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
About, because they want to be able to sell stuff. So that's, that's kind of where the whole like, as a skateboarder, you're a product, you know what I mean? So some people aren't as, you can't sell that product as well. Like they could be the best product ever, but if they don't have the personality and people aren't buying into them, it's kind of like, sorry, because I've met, I've had a ton of really good friends that they're amazing skateboarders, but they don't really have the personality per se, and it just sucks because the companies aren't trying to pay into that.
No, well, especially now.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is? Like, I mean, we can do this across any type of industry, but how important is it to start building that kind of audience?
Super important. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because right now, social media has just become that platform where it's like, having a storefront. Like if you don't have a storefront, are you really in business? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's why it's crazy for him. And I'm like, dude, how are you, the one person that's able to get away with this and not have that, addiction to social media or be on there, you know what I mean? So, but I guess he's created his own brand of being not that guy, you know what I mean? So
is stuff being made on him? He just doesn't do it himself?
Dude. Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? He's in the magazines and stuff like that. But I remember like one of the guys, they were on a trip and, just as a joke, was like, oh, I'm going to make an Instagram for you. And I think like the first day he had like 15,000 followers or something like that. But he doesn't care. He has no interest in being on that. He's actually like furious about social media.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Is he like our age or is he?
He's, I think he's like 29 maybe.
29, 30?
Yeah.
Oh, so maybe not so much.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he was running the flip phone forever. Like he's like a caveman out here.
Is it, you think it's mostly because he just wants to skate?
Yeah, for sure.
Like he doesn't want to deal with any of that stuff. He's just like, let me do my thing.
Yeah. And I think that's why people are really like attracted to him. They're like, dude, like this guy is, he's super gnarly because he'll meet somebody in freaking Budapest and then like be skating down the street in PB and it's like, oh, what up, Chuck? It's like, where do you know that dude? Oh, I met him in Budapest like 3 years ago. I'm like, what? How do you know that?
He knows these people.
Oh, yeah. Insane memory. Like, insane.
That's gnarly, dude. That's gnarly. All right, so why'd you end up getting out?
So, I wasn't really making a good living out of it. I was, getting some photo incentive here, doing the magazine thing here and there, and it just wasn't really paying off. And then I ended up injuring my back in 2010, 2011. I herniated 2 discs in my lower back. Which
was it a good trick, or it was just like on a random day?
It was. I think it was accumulation of like a couple of different falls where I had like fallen right on my back, and then this one was like the ender of all enders, because I remember I fell and I was like, oh, that didn't feel right, instantly. And then we went bowling, and then after bowling I was just like frozen, couldn't even move, just
stuck,
seized.
How old were you when you finally had to stop?
26, 25 probably.
It's funny, man, because I mean, you talk to athletes, football players, baseball players, soccer players, like their lifespan in full athletic combat, like whatever it is, whether it's anything that's brutal on the body, that's about it, dude. Retirement at like 30.
Yeah. And I definitely wasn't training like an athlete either. You know what I mean? They're out there stretching and working out. I was just drinking beers and partying. Yeah. A way different lifestyle. But you know what I mean? There's those dudes now that are like, they treat it like they're athletes. They're out there hitting the gym. They have personal trainers. You know what I mean? That's not why I got into skateboarding. So it's kind of like, that's cool. You know what I mean?
Cool.
But it's in the Olympics and it's becoming a sport. You know what I mean? But what attracted me to it was the fact that I could like do it without anybody else. Like I grew up playing Pop Warner for years, and I actually like had like opportunities to play for private schools in high school and stuff like that. But as soon as I found that skateboard, I didn't want to have anything to do with sports, team sports at least. So
nothing anymore. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, 100%. So okay, so you had this exciting life, right, of doing exactly what you love to do every single day.
Yep.
Physicality kind of, the physical ailment of it kind of stopped you. So you decided to go into real estate?
I didn't decide. It's super funny because I don't really know any title reps that were like, oh, like this is what I wanted to do. Like I grew up, I wanted to be in title. It's like, no, most of us like either knew somebody or had a family member, a friend that was in the industry and that had opportunities, So my mom was the VP of sales at a title company that's no longer around. And I was living in NorCal. She hit me up one day and was like, hey, this is kind of what happened. Basically, another title company had secretly negotiated to bring all of their employees to our company. And
backdoor deals.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But they paid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she hit me up and was like, hey, here's the situation. I'm not going to be the salesperson anymore. She went into like a corporate position and she wasn't sure if she was going to like it. So basically she was like, hey, I want you to come on and basically take over my book of business, so that way if I don't like my new position, I can go to another company and still have my book of business. Because if not, they were going to basically take all her clients and kind of spread them out between the other employees there. And so her being smart about it, she was like, hey, this is what we got to do. So I was like, oh, as a favor to you, for sure, I'll do it. And it wasn't serious. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go and really
build a career out of this.
Yeah. No. I was like, I'll come out for the weekend. I'll meet this guy that I got to convince that I'm going to be taking over your business, and that's it. And so flew out to San Diego. She bought me a suit. Met up with the guy and met with him and talked with him for a little bit. And after that I was like, wait, what's the job? He's like, yeah, you're pretty much just like networking and trying to help people grow their business. But when he explained it to me, I was like, oh, okay, well, people get paid to do this, all right. Sure, sign me up. And so after about a week or two, I went back up to NorCal, and I was thinking about life. I was like, dude, maybe I should really do this. Yeah. Like this is an opportunity. And, for me, I'm like the last person that's like, oh, I want to take a job for my mom. Like, it's just kind of like an ego thing. But I was like, I'd have to be an idiot not to. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm glad that I did, because, I basically moved back like 3 weeks later and started doing it full time and actually doing the job.
All right, so let me ask you that. You have huge changes, and for a lot of people out there that are going through some major life changes and things are switching up, you've had to make some changes that are kind of subtle, but yet, I mean, you kind of already mentioned one but it's kind of subtle, yet you have to do it for the new profession. Like, you got tattoos, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got like all over. Sleeves?
Well, no. The promise to Mama was that I never got anything that you couldn't see with a t-shirt on. So everything's like above the sleeves, and then I have my chest, my back, my legs, things like that done. But nothing you can't see.
Okay, so
normal clothes.
So you're used to dressing like a skater.
Yep.
Regular clothes. It's comfortable. now you're going in a profession that like you can't dress like that.
It's sometimes you can't, and sometimes you can.
In San Diego, yeah, you're right.
Well, I get like clients are like, dude, like, why did you show up like that when I'm in a suit? You know, I'm like, well, I didn't get dressed for you. I got dressed for the meeting I had before you. You know what I mean? It just happened to work out this way. But you know what I mean? Like, I usually try to keep it casual on like Fridays. I'll ride the motorcycle around and keep it mellow. And it's just, I guess, when people get used to seeing you in the suit and then you show up on this, you know what I mean? They already know that you're a professional, so it's okay. But they're like, oh, whoa, like, you're a human, you know what I mean? You're not a monkey. You're like, oh shit, yeah, you know, we do have lives. So. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's super funny because like I fought everything to ever wear a suit. You know, I was like, I'll never wear a suit. I'll never work a 9 to 5 like the man. No.
Yeah, you rebelled since 5th grade.
Yeah. And then like as soon as I got the suit, I was like, you know, going into a grocery store and they're like, oh, hey, sir, how can you know, how you doing? You need any help? And I'm like, sir, what respect?
Who are you talking
to? I've never felt respect in my life, you know, because they just look at you as a skateboarder and they're like, get out of here.
This kid, yeah. As a matter of fact, keep an eye on that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so
who is this sir you speak of?
Mr. Turtle is my father. That's what I think of, dude.
But yeah, no, it's crazy because like I always think about like, the old me probably would have wanted to fight the new me, but I'm okay with that.
You sold out.
Yeah.
You sold out.
Or I bought in, you know what I mean?
Or bought in, yeah. That's a good perspective. I like that. Yeah, but I mean, okay, so tell me what it's like. I mean, you still got friends that, you know, are at home. They still skate. They still, they're not business at all.
No.
But now you have colleagues that are like all business. What's that like? What kind of balance is that like?
You know, it's just like every person. It's a little bit different depending on the situation. But you know, I can't win. That's for sure. Because I show up with my friends and I got the suit on. They're like, "What the hell are you wearing?" I show up to work with the skate clothes. They're like, "What are you wearing?" You know what I mean? So it's like I can't win no matter what. So, you know, but it's a big transition for sure. And I guess it's kind of like how you carry yourself too. You know what I mean? Like I'm not being like a skateboarder. You know what I mean? I'm just, you know, sometimes I wear the suit and. It's crazy though because I think that a lot of people think that that's how you have to be, but realistically, after you know people let their guards down, you realize okay, you're not like this super square professional, like you know, by the book all the time. You know what I mean? Like people like to let loose, and I think that it's kind of like in business, people put that front up, and then they kind of let their real self show to you, and you're like okay, like you know.
What's been the biggest like struggle that you had when you first started?
Honestly, I didn't really like the job for 2 years. There's a lot of egos in real estate. You know, my job is to help people. And when you're, you know, especially because, you know, we were talking about the title stuff, it's like when you're going out of a place to like try and help people and then they're just like, nah, I'm good. You know, like they're super rude sometimes. You're like, okay, let me look this up. And you're like, oh, well, Chuck only did one deal last year. Like, are you sure you don't need my help, Chuck? You know what I mean? It's like, but it's like, it's an ego thing for them too, because they don't want to ask for help. You know what I mean? So, it also comes down to the fact that like the people that do my job have done it in such a way for so long that, you know, just like the consumers to you guys, you know, they have a bad taste in their mouth. You know, the consumer's like, oh, like I don't like agents. I'm going to sell my own home. Where they're like, I don't like title reps. Like they do it, you know, they're always showing up at your office when you don't want them there, trying to bug you. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. I compare it to like Eeyore. Like who would want to hang out with Eeyore, dude?
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just here.
Got a title order.
Got a title order.
I don't know. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of like begging and like assuming like, oh, if I go in the office, like I'm going to get a deal. It's like, dude, no, I'm good. I try to put myself in the agent's perspective and go like, how would I want to approach this? You know what I mean? How would I want to be approached? And it's just like trying to be as less Carl Salesman as possible.
Yeah. So what have you found works for you?
Being myself. But it took me a while because I thought that I had to be this like specific person and fit in this box and act a certain way. And then once I started acting more myself, I started attracting people that were more like me. And through that, I've enjoyed it more because in the beginning it was like, okay, well, I want to get business. What are you going to do? Okay, you go after the biggest people. You go after, you know, whatever you can. But then when you kind of like start to find your avenue, you know that what people kind of like are attracted to you and you're attracted to them and like it works. You know what I mean? Because me, I more so try to like make friends with you and see if we can have that relationship and then the business. Because if it's just about the business, then you're just a number, you know what I mean? And I want to be in a position where like I feel like I'm in this as much as you are. So like when a deal goes south, you know, this is my deal.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight. You know what I mean? Like, I want to get in there in the trenches with you and make sure that the deal gets closed. So it's just more relationship, and less focusing on the commissions and the money and all that stuff.
How much of being a title rep is going to events, going to functions?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, that's pretty much all I do is network. You know what I mean? I'm probably 4 nights out of the week I'm going to some happy hour, mixer, grand opening, whatever. I think in December I went to like 22 holiday parties. And I think the only person I talked to is another title rep from Ticor. I think he went to like 19 or something like that. But we were like, I don't even know how I'm alive right now.
Iron liver, dude. Yeah. See, so if you want to party a lot, you either become a title rep or you stay in college for a long time.
Join the Navy.
Or join the Navy. There you go.
Yeah. No, even Ma Dukes was like, hey, be careful out there because, she was a manager, you know what I mean? She probably had at any time 30 people underneath her. And she's like, hey, I've seen some people just lose it, fall off just from going out to the work parties and getting sucked into that life. And then, from there it's...
So how do you balance it then? How do you, I'm sure you drink a lot of water.
Drink a lot of water, get some exercise, you know what I mean? I try to do other things that I'm interested with my friends and colleagues too, you know what I mean? It doesn't always have to be drinking, but that's just kind of like the one thing I've noticed in real estate, that it's like the booze is always there. Mm-hmm. People in real estate love to drink. They like to party. They like to let loose because, it's high stress, high rewards. So It's kind of like sometimes you need to have some of that.
Yeah. I got the bottle right there sitting there just in case. Stressful days. It is a Friday. So let me ask you this, dude. Where do you see yourself like going? Are you going to be in title for a long time? Are you planning on you've seen other avenues that you like, or?
Honestly, it's a great place. Once I've kind of found my niche and where I'm at and my path, I'm pretty stoked on it. You know what I mean? And I love working for Fidelity. I've been there about 3 years, and I had been at a different company, and it's just different culture, different stuff. So honestly, I love working there, and I like being a title rep. But obviously, you know what I mean? I want to grow. And I guess the next thing would be leadership, and probably trying to get into either becoming a sales manager or something like that. But then I got to be responsible for babysitting 20 people like me, and I don't know if I want to do that. You know what I mean? Some people, you know what I mean? There's some really good people out there, but there's some bad apples too, and you know what I mean? I don't really want to be babysitting those people.
What have you learned that being in this type of environment, dealing with agents, dealing with other title reps, dealing with escrow office, dealing with all the legit, the legal stuff that has to go on? What have you learned that's helped you kind of navigate those waters so you're not accidentally stepping on things you shouldn't, little landmines?
Experience. You know what I mean? I studied for 6 months with my mom, all this stuff, we're going to look at PRs, we're going to look at, all this legal. And I was just I knew it, but until I actually got out there and experienced it, that's how you could actually utilize that information. You know what I mean? It was stored in there, but until I got into the experience and I was okay, I know it. And I got through the situation, so I was right, but I didn't have the confidence necessarily in the beginning to be oh, this is what you do, So it's kind of just learning through experience, because every title order is different. 90% of them don't have issues, but the ones that do have issues, it's they have nothing to do with, the one, it's A and B, apples and oranges, they're nothing alike. So it's kind of you learn from that experience, and then you're just okay, when's the next opportunity?
All right, when you're having a stressful day, right? Mm-hmm. Things are not going your way. I would usually think that you would hop on a skateboard and do something like that. What do you do now to you've had a stressful day? How do you blow steam?
The Harley.
The Harley now?
Oh, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's become the skateboard now, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, I will, admit that I ride it probably a little bit more...
aggressively?
Yeah, ride hard, ride fast, take lots of unnecessary chances.
Yeah, but...
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry, Mom.
Sorry.
Yeah, actually, I remember when I bought the Harley, I had put my parents' address on the thing, and I didn't tell them that I bought it. And she was oh, you're never going to ride a Harley, of course. And then I bought it, and I called the lady. I was hey, I need to change the information over to my address because I don't want my parents to know. And they're oh, sorry, honey, it's too late. You better tell your mom before she finds out, before they get the letter in the mail. So randomly got her on a phone call, and I was hey, while I'm talking to you, I got a motorcycle. And she was just what? And I was yeah, I got a motorcycle. And she's oh, okay. I was oh, God, I was expecting her to just...
Well, you're grown up now.
Yeah, but at the same time. She don't want to make her mad.
Well, James, tell me in your experience, like what was it like telling mom, hey, by the way, I'm getting a motorcycle?
Well, I had already joined the Navy and done all kinds of crazy things in my life, jumped out of an airplane and, so I think mom was kind of like over being scared for my life.
Are you married?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that one?
She was in Europe at the time.
Okay.
And I traded in her Fiat to get the Harley.
I'm sure that went over real well.
She was in Europe at the time.
You're still married, right?
Still married.
Oh, perfect.
I just wonder, would you jump out of a plane too then?
Yeah, I've been skydiving. Oh, dude, it's super fun. It wasn't like people are like, oh, it changes your life. And, obviously that 15 minutes after, you're like, oh, my God. But, now it's not, because I know people that would do it like they wanted to try something on a skateboard and they just were too scared to do it. They're like, oh, go jump out of a plane and you won't be scared to do it anymore. I'm like, okay.
Didn't fix it.
Yeah, didn't do it.
It's a different kind of adrenaline rush.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you still big roller coasters? Like you're down to go on roller coasters and stuff too?
I mean, I am now. Yeah, and funny enough, as a kid, I couldn't. I was having this conversation earlier today. As a kid, I got super freaked out on like the weakest rides. Like I was 14 years old crying on Big Thunder Mountain in Disneyland.
So then, okay, and then a question for both of you. I'll start with you first though.
Yeah.
What are you scared of?
I don't know yet.
Because I don't know, like I'm scared of letting people down. Like that's probably
for
for
sure.
me
Yeah,
the biggest thing for me is like if I promise you something, I would totally. It's like one of my biggest fears that I can't hold up my end of the bargain of whatever I promise. Like if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, and like that's one of my biggest fears.
Yeah.
But it's not an actual like fear. Like maybe, I don't know, a rabid dog at night cornered.
But that, you know what I mean? It gets you sweating, right? You're like, shit, stressed. You know what I mean? You feel it physically.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, definitely.
Those are the things that I don't know. Maybe at my age, I don't fear jumping out of an airplane because I'm never gonna jump out of an airplane. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Those are the types of things. Like is there anything that?
No, that's a really good one because you know what I mean. We live in the world of overpromise and underdeliver, and it sucks. Like people don't do the things they say because they can, you know what I mean? But it's like, do it because you said you would.
Well, I think it's funny because it used to be back in the day, if you shake on it, like that's your word, right? Your word is your bond.
Oh, for
and
sure.
we kind of went away from that. But I think honestly today it's more so because not only is your word is your bond, like you're documented. Like most of the things you say,
oh, for sure,
you're recording them, you're putting them online, you're sharing them. So like if you said it, you better stick to it because 10, 15 years down the road, they're going to be like, that's not what you said.
Yeah, the internet doesn't forget, that's for sure.
I mean, look at like politicians, look at like scandals that happened. Like back in 1975, this guy said this. I'm like, really?
He was 12 years old.
Yeah. But it comes back.
It's true.
I barely knew what I was doing at 30. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I barely got it figured out. And just when I think I got it figured out, I realize I don't actually know anything. And that's kind of scary though. But that's one thing that I try to keep. I do it with my kids for sure, and I try to keep it with the adults. Like, I'll tell you, if I promise you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I can't, I'll tell you, like, I'm going to try. I can't guarantee that this will happen, but I'm going to try my best to get it done. And, like, those are, like, two different things for me, but I guess that's probably my biggest fear. Did you come up with one? A biggest fear?
Biggest fear?
Like, what are you, like, not going to do, or what scares you? Because you guys are hard.
Really. I don't like spiders, that's for sure.
Spiders?
Yeah. I don't play with those.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, all right, I'll tell you. The last time that I was freaked out, I was walking around Bankers Hill area, and there was this old, creepy-looking house. And the person that I was walking around with, she decided that she just wanted to go into this creepy-ass looking house, and like.
Dude, scary movies start off that way.
Exactly, right? So here I am, like we rode over there on the Harley, and I got my helmet in my hand, like ready to use that thing as a weapon. Like, let something, pop out at me. But, I'd do it anyway.
But I did it anyway.
I did it anyway.
That's it. I'll do anything twice.
Once to try it, twice to make sure I don't like it.
It's funny, dude. I tell my students when we're walking out for a break, like, Christmas break or whatever, a few weeks, I'm like, be safe out there. Don't do anything stupid. And if you do it twice. Because you got to kind of figure it out, right?
Yeah.
If you're going to mess up all the way.
Mess up all the way.
What year is your students?
They just graduated. They're all. I teach high school seniors.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah, they just graduated yesterday. That's how I got the sunburn. Like I was out there sitting in graduation. Freaking sun comes out. Never comes out for the last 2 weeks, and it comes out then.
Did you go to school there too?
I went to Southwest High.
Okay.
But now I teach at Eastlake. Should have went to Eastlake. Probably could have played pro baseball.
You're super into baseball?
I was super into baseball, dude. But the school I went to wasn't very good. Didn't have a very good program. We had fun for sure. I mean, our team ended up being like a 500 team, like when we had like losing teams before. So it was definitely fun.
Nice. But
it's not one of the schools like where I teach now. There's a major program there.
Okay.
Like state champions, division champions. We had a kid this year signed to the Minnesota Twins in the first round.
What?
So yeah, dude.
Wow.
So it's that's the type of program that's there.
Rad.
Yeah, my boss's son, he's super into sports. So I've seen him out there like with the football and the baseball. They're all about it.
At Eastlake?
I think so.
Oh, crazy. Yeah. I'm telling you, the programs, just the community involvement, the teachers, the parents, like everybody in that area is like super committed to that community.
The sports program?
Well, the sports, just the community in general.
Nice.
So, I don't know. I always thought if I would have went to school that had that kind of community support, it might have been different. You never know.
Are they incorporated? Santee?
No, I'm at Eastlake.
Okay.
So, I don't think Santee's incorporated. I don't know if they're an incorporated city or not.
They might
be. I know La Mesa is. I know Chula Vista is. I know National City is. Lemon Grove. I don't know about Santee. Yeah. It might be. Might not be.
I think makes
Santee, El Cajon, Alpine. I think all of those are.
Nah, because some of them are just like sections, like little community. Like I don't even know what to call them, but they're not unincorporated. They're unincorporated and incorporated cities. I don't know if Santee is or not.
Well, anyway.
Question. I don't know. I probably ask a title rep.
I don't know one.
Right? All right, ladies and gents. I want to thank you for coming on the show. And
thanks for having me.
Before we head out, I want you to look into that camera right there. You got the banner right under you. If people want to get a hold of you, work with you, how do they reach out for you?
Just give me a call, 619-416-2076, or you could reach me at my Instagram too, Dr. AOBtax. It's skateboard backwards. And yeah, let's connect.
Dopest Instagram name, by the way.
Thank you.
I like that. I will forget it because it's backwards.
Yeah.
But once I remember skateboard backwards, but with a dot.
Yeah.
With the dot. Doctor with the dot.
The doctor's in.
The doctor is in. You ever think about like training stuff, like doing training videos for kids, like helping them out, skating?
Not really. There's so much of that stuff on the internet, you know what I mean?
I know, but you would do like for fun.
I've thought about doing skate videos for real estate. So instead of showing, the video is always the same. It's the dude in the office talking about whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing a million times, just a different dude. I was like, I'm going to want to do some videos where it's like stuff that people actually want to watch and actually have like skating or whatever, but still talking about things that are important for my business. So trying to find a different way to kind of go about it so it's not the same thing as everybody else is doing. But
I'm messing around with music parodies.
I seen it.
Yeah, that was one. We have another one. I wrote it, recorded it already. Run DMC. It's tricky, and so it's hard to be a podcaster, a teacher, a realtor. It's tricky. So I wrote it already. We're gonna do the video like next week, I think.
That's tight.
So if you know a Gary V lookalike, by the way, or Grant Cardone lookalike,
okay, I'll keep my ears open.
Yeah. Or you kind of got the beard thing going. Maybe we just throw a Jets jersey on you.
Ooh, I can't do that. Oh, Niners all day.
Niners all day. See, I got the Chargers behind me.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, I'm going to throw it out there for you guys. If you guys know any Gary V lookalikes, I put it on my Instagram today, or a Grant Cardone lookalike. I try to make these like fathead printouts, but they hit me with you don't have the copyrights or whatever. I'm like, son of a... All right, whatever. It's going to come down to a Jets jersey and a little...
You just got to find a legit printer that doesn't care.
Yeah, I do, right? Yeah. I could probably find one. I know there's some around.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Quick reminder, 365 pairs of shoes by the end of the year. 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. Hit him up. He'll go out there with his Harley and pick them up. Right? All right, and then secondly, of course, if you have any insurance needs, not title insurance, He can help you with title. But if you have personal, home, auto, business insurance, or you want to add insurance into your line of business, hit James up 619-884-0045 or james@csfirst.com. And that's it, right? Oh, yeah. If you want to be a guest on the show, hit me up or find us on social at Business Bros Pod. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out.
There
Click.
it is.
We love you, Facebook.
Love you, Facebook. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. And stop live.